Hey guys, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching, doing the midday trade review of the levels. I will not be here at the end of the day. It's almost New Year's Eve, the 30th of December. So I want to go through the trade plan. For anyone who'd like to join the room or take a trial in the room, email me at tradeandperform, TRADENPERFORM at gmail.com, and I am happy to help you. So let's get started. First of all, let's go see what the trade plan was. So if we roll over to the blog, I will simply read out what I wrote. So these are the levels as posted to the members before the room opened. And I said today's trade plan in ES, NQ, and CL. Buyers remain in overall control. Uh, remain in overall control. So the trades with the highest odds of a strong result will come from pushes down that set up on process. The highest odds locations. So what I'm trying to do is set up here where the physical locations are on the chart for the best trades, right? The highest odds locations will come from pushes down that set up on process. The highest odds location for longs will come from prior session lows, the green line, prior day's lows, yellow zone below value area, the pink lines. As we are in such a strong market, pushes down are harder to find. So more advanced traders can use the algo setups to find high odds longs with good risk control. Again, it would be better to get a push down, but that is unlikely in holiday trading. Shorts should be considered very aggressive, and the best locations for these shorts would be on extensions up and above Globex high, yesterday's high, or big stretches up. Again, with the short side of the trade having to be considered more difficult because of the underlying strength. Also, watch for mismatches between NQ and ES. If one is down a lot, the other is up a lot. Makes for difficult trading in both. No matter what you do, make sure you're on process. Again, I favor looking for longs this AM. So let's go to the chart. So we already had the levels posted. I haven't changed those. We'll start with CL. So, excuse me, wrong chart. It's the profile chart. Nothing wrong with it, but it's harder to see. So on CL, what you'll see here is here's the 8 a.m. open, right? This is 8 a.m. open. So we opened at the point of control. The blue dashed line is the prior day's point of control. It's a hard place to trade because it gets zipped through, right, like this, or it chops through it quite a bit, right? The best locations are value area high, and then on a stretch above prior day's high and into these yellow zones. These are all resistance above. And you can see we opened up and we pretty much drove straight to prior day's high. We found responsive sellers and they pushed back to the point of control. Again, this makes a great target if you had a short up here at 77.36. Now I'm going to tie in the 77.36 to see if you would have found a trade, right? So what I'm going to do is duplicate the chart, attach chart. There we go. And I'll roll that over. So this is the same chart. Again, we're looking up at that 77.38. So you can see this morning, let me erase this real quick because this is the algorithm that we look for, right? And so what you will see, this is 77.38, right? Excuse me, that caught me by surprise. So sorry. This is 77.38. See, we pushed right to it. We had the algo, so that little yellow dot, that's the algorithm, followed by the triangle down. And so here's a thing that you'll notice, right, is as we were going up in holiday trading, see how we came straight up? And what you'll notice is, this is why I tell the guys in the room, this would have been above value area high, right in here, right? So if you take this trade has about 10 cents worth of risk. Let me see if I can break it down really quick from here to here, right? So if you took that 78 cents, excuse me, it's a little bit more than that, 78, it's about 13 cents worth of risk, right? And you just simply were not going to be able to get, so your entry would have been right here at 74 cents, and about 9 cents, 10 cents would have been the best you would have been able to do. But there was a couple of things, guys, that we're looking for while we're taking the trade. So first of all, as you know, and this is going back to members in the room, when we're looking at this trade, the first thing I want to see, right, is can I get behind an algo? So we did that, right? We got behind this algo and we also got behind this algo over here and it switched down. The third thing I want to see is when I come off a wave, one of the things I want to see is if I can get this wave to be bigger than the prior two green waves in front of it. So see how this wave was not bigger than this wave was clearly not bigger than the prior two waves. As a matter of fact, it went differently. Look how that changes if you can get the third wave up. Again, it doesn't rewrite, right? That's the third wave up. You get the third wave up, you get the algo, and this wave is bigger than the prior two waves. It's pretty easy to see. You get the algo, and it shoves down. And if you try to do it the other way around, it makes for difficult trading. And you'll see here on the reversal back up, it did the same thing. See how if you try to take the reversal here, you got stuff, but if you waited, nope, nope. But put a line when we're looking at these two waves. See how this third wave, if even by a hair, was bigger than the prior two waves before it? And if you'll look, your first long algo, so what would have been the first long algo? So it's the first algorithm that fires once you're behind here, and if you do that on the third wave, you will have a lot of success. I will cover this in an individual video soon here, but that's the long, and that long obviously pushes once, come back down, you get a two-bar combo. Two-bar combo is when you have an algo where the red triangle is pushing down, followed by another algo, it comes up. And even if you had shorted here, what you would notice, even if you hadn't gotten to the third wave, right? Even if you thought this was short, the one thing you didn't want to see after that prince is you didn't want to see algo, triangle down, algo up. That's a strong long, right? Anytime you get those two-bar combos. Again, here you did not get set up for a short, but you did get a continuation with the algo down, star up. Again, if you're new to the room, none of these reprint. Once they're printed, they're there to stay. And we finally push up to that 38 cents. What would have made this better than just the algo would have been if we could have gotten the triangle up. And again, from where that last triangle up, that's where we're going to fall away. So if you put the line underneath that triangle up, you can see that we get the point of control underneath. Does a little dance around, but then makes the extension to the low and then comes back to test it. And that's where we're having generally difficulty right in that area, is right where they released from earlier. Again, it's a slow day. So when you put these two pictures together, right, you had prior day's high. Then when you look underneath the microscope, you had the third wave was bigger than the prior two waves. There's nothing more magical about it. That's all I'm looking for. And then you had algo down. It could have been a stronger sign. We could have used a triangle algo down, but that didn't happen. And then you got another two-bar combo. Algo up, speed bar down. That's two-bar combo for the extension underneath. And it gave you the push to the downside. That's how you did it in CL. So next, we'll go do, and I'm done with this chart, so we're going to leave it. We're going to go do NQ now. So here's NQ. There's the levels just as I posted them again. You'll see we opened up. I was looking for a push down this morning, and those members in the room that were in the room know I showed exactly where that set up long to the upside. I'll show it in just a second. Outside of the point of control, right? Chop, 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 chop. Great place to get stopped. Pushes above value area high. Backside test value area high from yesterday. Pushes above prior day's high. Exhausts and makes an attempt to push back into the 50-60. And now we're just in pure chop for the rest of the afternoon. So the question is, what did this look like up here? And what did this look like down here? So first let's go and look underneath 16,480, right? So we're going to take this chart. Again, what I'm trying to do for both members in the room and people who are just trying to learn off the YouTube channel is I'm trying to show how those two pieces fit together, right? That's what I am. Oh, I got to detach that chart, detach. It's coming from my other monitor. Here's NQ. This is on a 16-tick Renko. So this is the open. Let me see the number that we were looking for. 16, below 16,480, just for easy reference. We'll erase all this. Okay, so there's 16,480, right? So you'll see that we got underneath that twice. It got us outside. You can see that this pushed down, even though it worked to the upside, right? We got behind the power bar. That's this little bar with a blue triangle. I want to get behind it. I get the algo up. I have a triangle down within 4 bars, the best if it's right next to it, right? Triangle down within 4 bars, and that launches it to the upside. That's right at 830. That was really hard trade to take, right? But now we can get reset a little bit because we've opened up. We went back to the point of control, which is right over here, and now I can put a line right behind this. Why? This is my power bar. I want to get behind this power bar and come back at it with an algo. So 16 ticks is pretty small, right? But you got to remember, I'm looking for 2 factors, right? The first factor and I'm going to plug in the down waves over here in just a second. So the first factor is, can I get behind my algo and close back in with another algo? So we know the best is if one of these two that closes in is a star. So for those of you who are new, I'll explain that later, but I want a star to close back in with a star. So this one doesn't close back in with a star. That makes it a B trade, not an A trade, but it's still usually good. I will say if I had taken this, and again, it was at 842, I would have been stopped, right? But remember when you're going through your process here that you have your trade. Now you're behind this algo, right? So now see if you look very closely. And for those of you who are asking, yeah, this is pretty deep work that you're doing here, right? It's bar within bar. So diamond, star. So for those of you who want pinpoint entries with small stops, this is how we do that in the rim, right? Diamond and the star, that's an A plus setup. That's your first long. Now remember, that's from underneath the power bar. There's another setup that comes that if you get above the star, come back to test it, and you touch the bar with the star and it closes off with another star, that's also an A plus setup. And then remember, if you have a star, comes back and hits it with an algo, this one or this one, both of them gave you extensions up, right? And now what are you targeting, right? You've got your entries, right? Whether you took them from above or below. And when I coach people, I go, hey, pick which setup you're going to use. Be very specific. Moving all the pieces at once is pretty difficult. So I personally like getting behind the bars. I like getting behind the bars and then getting an algo to close back in and preferably a star. This was an okay setup. It wasn't great. This was really good. I actually prefer it when it gets behind, right? And then what are your targets? So your targets, you're going to come back to this chart over here and you know, okay, well, the market gets pretty naturally pulled back to 16,484 because that's the prior day's point of control, right? If you took any of these entries, right? If you're taking your entry off this algo that closes back in with a star, which again I like very much, that 484. So let me erase all the lines so you can see this. That would have been your original entry, right? You've pushed away from the point of control. You're at 59. Here's 84. That's a 25-point trade. Like in NQ, that push back to the point of control, if you entered right here at 59, that's, let's see, 60, 24, 25 points, right? So that adds up to almost $500 a contract. Got to give or take for the wiggle, but that's about what that was. What's your next target? Again, this is why I advocate looking at the chart. Your next target is value area high, right? That comes in at 16,505.75. I want you to see how these are overlaying on the chart and you have a place to look. 16,505.75, right? And again, you'll notice, right? If I get over here, I want to get behind this, but really what I want to get behind for a short is that guy right here. Now, see how you get the triangle up here? And you said, well, Simon, it gave an algo down. So this would have been the rub in CL, right? Why it didn't set up as A plus. So see the triangle up? I want that within 4 bars. right? So there's the triangle up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That becomes a B grade trade at best immediately, right? So even there, even though I had it bigger than the prior two waves, right? So then the next thing I would have wanted to see, right? So remember, if let's say I took that short, let's say I kicked out and I said, now I've got the reversal off, off the, I believe it was right here, off yesterday's value area high, right? So what I don't want to see is once I get this triangle down, we talked about moving the stops, right? Once I get that triangle up, I definitely want to be out of it. That should be a 1 bar stop at worst. Really, once you close with a point of control back into this bar with a positive bar, you should have just been gone. It would have been a 7-point stop, but you have to train your brain to see that. And again, that was right at 9 o'clock. You have algos firing off, so it can be relatively quick, right? So then go to your last target if you're uber bullish, where you're trying to hit, right? Well, obviously, if you're uber bullish, this is what you're trying to hit up here at this orange line to the upside, but next comes 16,548.75. And let's see what we got. 548. There's 16,548.75, prior day's high. So what am I looking for? So the best thing I can have up here is triangle up, algo down. That occurs over here to the left. So this doesn't have an algo to the downside. There's no trade here. This doesn't have an algo to the downside. No trade here. So your first trade in this setup, right? So you got the third wave to the high, no algo set up for the short, right? So your first and best setup actually gave you this triangle up. I'll go down. See the little yellow dot underneath here? That's your best setup. Your stop was on that bar at the latest. And you'll see how they can't get the point of control to close back in above the body of that bar. And it continues, and that's how it pushed out and back to the downside, right? And your target would have been ultimately to retest value area high, which I don't think we've been able to do yet. I think we're just chopping sideways in here. And so that's how you read the chart. That's how you plug in the higher time frame to the lower time frame. Let's do ES as our last chart, even though it's a monster of being asleep today. Here, let me go produce the chart really quick. Chart. And that will be loaded in just a second. So let's go through and plug the last pieces in. Again, you don't have to trade all the charts. You can just choose what you want to trade. Again, here's ES where we started off the day. Here's 8 a.m. And you can see that we opened up above value on ES. We were never able to make it back to the point of control. That's the clear magnet. And you can see they just had no weakness. So if you're going to short, you at least want to get above here. So let's just go see what this looked like in the morning. You can see it was pretty choppy out of the gate, and it was a pretty small range. So we'll go to ES on a 6 range, and we can see value area high was 47.8875. We clearly held that high for the first half hour. We'll put a line at 88.75. There, let me make sure I have my work correct there. Okay. And here is 8:30 in the morning. So you can see it was quite dull to begin the day. There was really just zero rotation. You can see the setup that worked. There's 8:30. There's the star. That was the only setup that I saw today. Star matches up with the star, holds the bar. You can see they couldn't get a point of control below the body of the bar. pushes out, takes out the high up there at 47.99. You can see when we get to 47.99, again, you wanted to get behind this power bar. You can see it did it on both of these bars and did it with a star. And then you can see the parallel stars there, which set up the push back to value area high. That was the day in ES. There just wasn't a lot of rotation. So, and again, you can see on this push up with the stars, when you get a star or an algo and it'll set up for you correctly, right? So obviously the best thing that would have been triangle up, algo down out of there, or get behind, stop out that star and close back in. But triangle up, algo down is the best, followed by getting a star stopped out or getting a star, print a star, come back, backside tested and push down. Those are the best trades. There wasn't a lot more to do today, so I wouldn't have, you shouldn't have over traded in that area. That's what you're looking for. This is what we do in the room every day. So I hope that helps. Anyways, that's the trade review, guys. I'm done. It's 12:30. Happy New Year, everyone. Let's go kick ass next year. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. Oh, one last thing. If you want to reach me, again, there's the email, tradeandperform@gmail.com.